Okay, last month I did a piece on Chris Davis and how pitchers are bending over backwards to try to help him in just about every respect. All right, and we're going to try to explain that with a couple of pitch combinations. This is a fastball away, and this would be typical as to how guys would go about trying to pitch Chris Davis. The other pitch is a changeup that ends up a little bit more middle, still down and away, but it ends up a little bit more towards the middle of the plate. And we're gonna kind of watch how this takes place. There's some deception there because they're both in the same tunnel. This deception, however, is going to hurt the pitcher, and the reason being is this higher one, the changeup, is going to look like a higher fastball. So in Davis's mind, he's just swinging at fastball. His barrel, if you can imagine a lefty hitter, let me give you just a quick little ugly visual. Both hands are here. The barrel is going to be down here. So as the barrel gets ready to hit this outside fastball, and I'll kind of clean this up in a second, it starts to come up and around, and that's what the circle is going to look like basically. And as this changeup passes through that, it's in a different place in time. And let me try to explain that from the side just a little bit. Here comes the fastball from the side view, and it's an outside fastball location. The changeup, which is just a little bit higher, has a slightly more inside location. So as the bat gets ready to come down into the zone and then continue around that circle, he's going to run into both of these at the same basic time because he's ready to hit this one at a moment in time, and the continuation is going to take it right into the one that's slower. So let's see if we can explain that just a little bit better. If we look up at the clock, we see 0.467 seconds, and that represents the time that this outside fastball is hitting the catcher's glove, not the contact point, but the catcher's glove. So if we back that up to 0.433 seconds, that's 89 miles an hour. That's when the fastball gets hit the hardest by Chris Davis, somewhere between 89 and 90.5. In that range is his hardest home runs. So that's basically 96 middle away is roughly 93, and 96 down and away is roughly 90. So everywhere where that location equals roughly 90 miles an hour, that's when he's going to hit the hardest home runs. So we go to the point of where it hits the glove here. We take it 1, 2, 3 more clicks, and that changeup now is going to hit the catcher's glove. So if we take it back out to the point where we're making contact, we have this deeper area where the bat would start, and then it's going to continue in its path upward, and it's going to run right through this changeup. So that's one way why off-speed pitches are getting hit out of the yard by him. Let's take a look at a couple more pitches. If we take that same down and away fastball, because that's the norm, and then we look at a slider, let's look at one that's middle up, because that's the place where he hits most sliders, is away and middle away, middle up, and even down and away. Well, let's take a look at the visual. Immediately out of the hand, there's a separation. The slider's much higher. The changeup is going to, or the fastball is going to go to where it normally goes. Changeup's going to end up middle, and so that ball's killed. And it's killed because, A, we've slowed him down because we've been nibbling out here with fastball. And all those fastballs are slower. They're all losing velocity. So we're allowing him to hit the ball later. Then when we throw this changeup or slider or curveball, it's going to present itself much sooner because the visual we've been showing him is lower and more away. So that pitch becomes obvious. Therefore, it's hit better. Let's take a look at a curveball. We'll look at one that's middle up. It's going to be super obvious. Within a foot or 2 feet out of his hand, he's going to recognize this loopy curveball because that one's going to end up middle. Let's take a look at one more combo, and we'll look at one that's would be located a little more little bit lower. Let's try actually a little more away. Let's try this one. So regardless of the off-speed pitch, the changeup, which is lower, is going to fool him, but it's going to fool him in a way that's hurting the pitcher. This curveball, every curveball that you see is going to have this type of effect. It's going to have a huge differential of visual. It's going to pop up. We're going to see it clearly right out of the gate. So it has the opposite of deception. Fastball here, changeup, curveball, slider. They're going to have a little bit less pop, but all of those are going to pop up above this nibbling fastball on the outside part of the plate. So we're doing him a favor visually, we're doing him a favor from a speed perspective, and from a visual perspective. Hopefully that explains it a little bit better.